The acrid smell of burning metal and scorched skin assaulted Sergeant Cole Tanner's nose as he staggered out of the twisted wreckage of his dropship. Alarms screamed around him, merging with the agonizing cries of his wounded squad mates. The alien landscape of Greethawk sprawled before him, a scorched wasteland littered with wreckage and smoldering vegetation. "Welcome to paradise," Cole muttered, spitting blood onto the ground as he steadied himself. Barely 2 steps from the crash, a gleaming, silver tendril sprang from the soil and wrapped around his ankle. Cursing, he fumbled for his plasma cutter. Greethawk's bizarre flora had a reputation for attacking anything that moved. A desperate groan nearby drew his attention. Corporal Rio lay trapped beneath a massive hunk of hull, eyes wide in terror as more tendrils coiled toward her. "Hang tight, Rio," Cole called, activating his cutter, its blue flame hissing as it sliced through the metallic vines. She gasped as he pried away the debris, her face pale. "My legs. I can't feel them," she murmured. Cole's jaw clenched. He'd seen injuries like this before. She wouldn't be walking out of here. "You're gonna be fine, Corporal," he lied, hoping to reassure her. The sound of approaching footsteps had him spinning, weapon at the ready. He relaxed barely as he recognized the tall, spindly form of the alien liaison, Narek. "Damn it, Narek," Cole growled. "I almost shot you. What the hell happened?" Narek's face tendrils twisted in what Cole had learned was an expression of distress. "Apologies, Sergeant Tanner. Our intelligence was incomplete. Greethawk's defenses were far more sophisticated than anticipated." Cole's mouth tightened. "Half my squad's dead or dying. This was supposed to be a simple recon, not a slaughter." Narek's skin rippled from its usual metallic silver to a somber gray. "The situation is more complex than you realize, human," he replied. "There are forces beyond your comprehension here." Cole scowled, pointing at Rio's prone form. "My people are dying, and I need evac. Now." Narek's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. I cannot provide that, Sergeant, not without incurring a great debt," he replied, voice trembling. Cole's patience snapped. He grabbed Narek by the shoulders, ignoring the alien's startled gasp. "Listen, I don't care about your debt or your politics. Either you help get us out, or I swear I'll—" A deafening explosion cut off his threat, rocking the ground beneath them. Both Cole and Narek struggled to keep their footing. "Greethawk mines," Narek whispered, his voice laced with fear. "They know we're here." Cole's mind raced. They were outgunned, outnumbered, and stranded on hostile soil. But he wasn't going to die here without a fight. "Fine, you want to avoid debt, but you're going to help save what's left of my squad," he said. "Consider it a down payment for all the mess you got us into." Narek's tendrils twisted in what Cole could only assume was agreement. "Very well, human," he replied, "but by accepting my aid, you inherit my debt. The consequences may be severe." Cole barked out a humorless laugh. "Can't be worse than dying on this cursed rock. Now, help me with Rio." As they struggled to rig a makeshift stretcher from scraps, Cole couldn't shake the feeling he'd just struck a devil's bargain. With Greithawk's forces closing in and his team barely holding together, he had little choice. Little did he know the true cost of Narek's debt would make this mission look easy. A faint whine echoed in the distance, followed by the rapid staccato of gunfire. "We need to move," Cole grunted, helping lift Rio onto the stretcher. Narek's tendrils twitched nervously. "The Greithawk will show no mercy, especially to your kind," he warned. "What's that supposed to mean?" Cole asked, narrowing his eyes. Narek's skin rippled, shifting colors in a pattern of unease. "Humans have a reputation in this sector, one that precedes you." "Wonderful," Cole muttered. "Any other surprises I should know about?" A shriek pierced the air, and instinctively Cole ducked, dragging Rio's stretcher with him. A crackling bolt of energy seared over their heads, the air charged with heat. "Sniper!" Cole bellowed, fumbling for his sidearm. "Narek, get Rio to cover!" The alien hesitated before complying, his wiry frame straining under Rio's weight. Cole provided covering fire, the plasma rounds flashing briefly in the eerie alien landscape. As he dove behind a chunk of metal, he glimpsed their attacker, a shape-shifting entity perched on a ridge, morphing seamlessly into various weapon configurations. "What the hell is that?" Cole muttered, firing his last rounds in the creature's direction. "A Greethawk warform," Narek said, voice quavering. "Bio-engineered for killing. Your weapons are useless against it." Cole swore under his breath. You might have mentioned that sooner, he spat, glaring at the alien, whose tendrils drooped in what might have been shame. Another energy blast struck, dangerously close. The air filled with a sickly sweet scent that made Cole's head spin. Neurotoxins, Narek wheezed. We cannot stay here. Cole's thoughts spun. They were cornered, outmatched, and now being gassed. Narek, he shouted, that debt you mentioned, any perks? Now would be a good time to cash in. Narek's eyes widened, all 6 of them fixing on Cole with a disturbing intensity. You would accept my debt without knowing its terms? We're dead anyway, Cole said, a bitter smile tugging at his mouth. Might as well go all in. For a heartbeat, Narek was motionless. Then, with a smooth gesture, he produced a small, pulsing orb from within his robes. This, he intoned, is the price of our survival. Once activated, there is no turning back. Are you certain, human? A fresh blast shook the ground. Cole met Narek's gaze, his jaw set. Do it. Narek's tendrils twisted in a grim semblance of a smile. He squeezed the orb, which began to glow, distorting the world around them. Cole felt a wrenching sensation, as though he were being torn in 1,000 directions. The last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was the look of terror on the Greythawk sniper's face. Months later, or maybe years, time had lost meaning. Cole stared through the viewport of the alien ship, his knuckles white as he gripped the controls. Corporal Rio sat beside him, monitoring an array of instruments, her face lit by the eerie glow of alien holograms. We're approaching the target, Sarge, she said, her voice tense. For months they'd fulfilled increasingly dangerous missions for their debt-bearers, leaving pieces of their humanity behind. Suddenly the comm crackled. A silky voice filled the cabin. Excellent progress, my dear humans. Your final task awaits, the destruction of a little planet called Earth. The words hit Cole like a punch to the gut. You can't be serious, he said, his voice hollow. Oh, quite serious, replied the voice. Your homeworld has become inconvenient. Too much chaos, too much potential. The debt must be balanced. Rio paled beside him. This is madness. We won't do it. Oh, but you will, the voice hardened. The alternative is the eradication of humanity across all space and time. At least this way, some of your kind survives among the stars. Cole's mind reeled. Every part of him resisted the idea, but the crushing weight of their cosmic debt pressed down on him. He thought of the worlds they'd already ravaged, the civilizations they'd torn apart. There has to be another way, he growled. The voice laughed coldly. There is always another way, Sergeant, but are you willing to pay the price? A plan formed in his mind as he stared at Earth, a fragile, beautiful blue orb in the vast emptiness. He met Rio's gaze, her hand clutching his. What do we do, Sarge? We end this, but not on their terms. Understanding dawned in her eyes, and she nodded. Cole's fingers flew over the alien controls, pushing the ship's engines beyond their limits. What are you doing? The voice screeched, panic creeping in. Stop this at once! Cole allowed himself a grim smile. Sorry, but we're changing the terms. The ship plunged toward Earth, heat building as they accelerated. Cole thought of those they'd lost, those they'd wronged. As the ship began to break apart, Rio's hand found his. It's been an honor, Sarge. Cole met her gaze one last time. Semper Fi, Corporal. The ship exploded in a brilliant flare over Earth, fading quickly, a brief, beautiful streak across the sky. In the depths of space, the cosmic broker watched with a mixture of fury and admiration. Well played, humans, he murmured. Humanity's debt was not paid, but its spirit had burned brighter than ever.